In this video, we'll discuss what the NEAR protocol is, how it got started, what sets it apart from other protocols, and the specific tokenomics that you can use to create a price prediction. Let's begin with Alex Skidanoff and Ilyan Polosukin. They're credited with developing the protocol. Alex worked as a developer at Microsoft at one point, and Ilyan managed engineering operations for Google Research. To begin, we've some really brilliant minds working on this project for us, so that's a plus. The second thing that we have to find out is that they really do help out with the Y Combinator program for aspiring venture capitalists. To provide a brief summary on that, they were just over 4 months into the project when they had already received around $50 million in private funding through 2 separate fundraising bills. On the free market, they replicated the same behavior. As a consequence of this, it's likely that they came up with an original idea. According to the website of NEAR, the NEAR Collective as they're known, it's in the process of constructing an infrastructure for a new internet. This architecture will make it more difficult for large companies to steal your data and for the terrible regimes to shut it down. It's fascinating that they're working on a replacement for the entire internet. But before we get too excited about the implications for network technology, let's examine what this means. First and foremost, there's a system that relies on reaching a consensus in place. Blockchain technology, known as delegated proof of stake, is utilized by the NEAR network, which is a blockchain. The concept of delegation validation to another party is straightforward. If you don't have enough coins or the necessary computer parts to establish your own validation node, you give your coins to someone else who does. The moniker given to their proof of stake system is Doomslug. The company NEAR has come up with a really original and catchy name for its blocks. After one cycle of dialogue, Doomslug makes it possible for us to arrive at some sort of definitive conclusion. This suggestion that you need to wait for one block as opposed to the standard need of waiting for subsequent 35 blocks of Ethereum. It's rather complicated and carries with it a number of extra benefits. On the other hand, it offers a practical fault Byzantine tolerance model, which might prove to be of some utility. The second subject that I would want to talk about is Nightshade, which is the method that they use for sharding. Instead of using sidechains like other blockchains, NEAR employs its own mechanism with new shards in order to get the process block as quickly as possible. There's a snapshot of each of these shards stored on the main blockchain. In point of fact, sharding is already supported by the NEAR protocol despite the fact that it's planned for inclusion in Ethereum 2.0. As a direct consequence of this, they're able to process around 100,000 transactions every second. One of the things that sets Nightshade apart from the others is the fact that its shards only has 100 seats. Validation expenses are going to go up as more individuals join the shard, which is why each seat gives you the ability to become a validator. This is because more shards are created if it's determined that more of them are necessary. As a consequence of this, new validators receive an incentive to construct a new shard whenever the network demands more shards as a consequence of congestion. Delegation also takes place at all of those different pieces of the blockchain. Human-readable addresses are included by default in NEAR to make the terminology easier to understand. This suggestion, more or less, that an address such as cryptoeducation.near may be available to us. Similar functionality may be found in Ethereum. For instance, we own the domain name cryptoeducation.eth, but in order to secure it, we need to pay $60. Because it can be accessed on NEAR for no cost at all, this is a significant development. Let's discuss guilds next. It may be summed up as a group of people who are employed by NEAR. A company that's able to make decisions without the need for a president or CEO is referred to as the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or DAO for short. Instead, the decisions are made by holders of the token. If you have a greater number of tokens, you have a greater ability to vote. Guilds in NEAR function in manner analogous to those of distinct departments inside a company. Volunteering groups, marketing departments, human resources departments, and accounting departments are some of the departments that are able to assist with the procedure. The NEAR Foundation has reached an unhealthy level of board member concentration now that it has 4 members. Despite the fact that this is conceptually comparable to Ethereum's board, the plan is to ultimately hand up control of the NEAR Kingdom to its users through decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, guilds, and centralized governments. A comparison has been made between the Foundation and a space shuttle, with the guilds standing in for the DAO idea that the shuttle is transporting. They're unable to escape the atmosphere on their own, but with the assistance of the other entity, they are able to do it. They did dock, but once they're outside of the atmosphere, they left the pilot to his own devices. In this particular scenario, the NEAR community will serve as the pilot. One of the last topics I want to talk about is the Aurora system. You're aware that Matic is a method for scaling Ethereum's Layer 2 that's more centralized, while it's cheaper and faster than other solutions. Nonetheless, you choose to use it anyways because the cost of Ethereum gas is so excessive. Although Aurora is somewhat analogous to the Layer 2 scaling method utilized by the NEAR protocol, there are numerous key distinctions. To begin, Aurora was developed with EVM in mind during the design phase. This provides a copy that is, to a certain extent, similar to the Ethereum Virtual Machine, EVM. This suggestion that developers will have an easy time moving their Ethereum apps onto the Aurora network. Aurora is implemented as a smart contract on the primary NEAR chain as well, and on that chain, it possesses some degree of finality. It's also possible that it will adopt the sharding strategy in order to accomplish its goals of achieving outstanding horizontal scalability. In addition to that, I wanted to quickly touch on the Rainbow Bridge. In order to get across from the main chain to the Aurora network, NEAR constructed the Rainbow Bridge, which is a blockchain bridge. You're able to transfer your Ethereum around freely right now, but the developers have plans to add support for other chains in the not-too-distant future. Some of these chains include Binance Smart Chain, Matic, Phantom, and others. Let's wrap this off by taking a look at the tokenomics behind the NEAR currency. NEAR is an inflationary cryptocurrency, since its staking incentive processes generate new tokens at a rate of 5%. Additionally, NEAR functions as a governance token. This suggests that the current holders do not contribute new ideas and do not vote on existing ones. A significant number of the early investors were constrained by a certain amount of time. After a certain deadline is passed, they'll no longer be restricted from selling or transferring their coins. This means you should make a note of such days and put them on your calendar. Many investors believe that selling some of their coins for cash is the best way to get back some of the money that they put in at the beginning. The fact that investors like Coinbase and Andreessen and Horowitz have shown their support for the NEAR protocol is typically interpreted as a good indicator. Now, is NEAR worth investing for? NEAR has quickly risen to the top 20 cryptocurrencies, although it's still in its early stages of growth. Before making a major investment, it's a good idea to keep an eye on its development. However, so far the signals are promising, and NEAR appears to be on track to solidifying its position if it continues to execute. For example, 4 years ago, none of this existed. NEAR has grown from a tiny staff in a San Francisco office to where it is now. Adoption has accelerated at an astonishing rate. According to the figures from a recent presentation, there have been over 40 million total transactions, over 1 million network accounts, over 1,000 people developing on the NEAR protocol weekly, and over 200 current projects, and over 200 decentralized autonomous organizations. The coin has the potential to generate enormous profits and become one of the greatest Web 3.0 cryptocurrencies to invest in. The stakes are enormous, and an investment might lose a significant portion of all its value. Thank you for tuning in. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the next video.